People often say, if you want others to like you, just be yourself. But what does it actually mean to be yourself? And what if other people don't like the real you? Does it make you a bad person? The answers to those questions we can find in the anime You and I Are Polar Opposites. Let me explain. In high school, where fitting in and getting along with others feels like everything, there is the bright and cheerful Miyu Suzuki, with her pink hair, trendy makeup, and carefully practiced smile. She does everything she can to stay popular and match the energy of her classmates. But deep down, she's exhausted from constantly adjusting herself for other people. Sitting next to her is Yusuke Tani, calm, quiet, and completely unconcerned with what others think of him. He speaks honestly, isn't afraid of silence, and never pretends to be someone he's not, which makes him seem cold at first. But little by little, their short conversation during breaks becomes something they both look forward to. One day, after a series of awkward moments, Miyu can't hold back her feelings anymore and confesses to him right in front of their classmates. She's so embarrassed that she can barely explain herself. From that moment on, they begin spending more and more time together. At first, it's awkward, but slowly they start trusting each other and learning how to be honest and open in their relationship. The third thing that stands out about this anime is the simple artwork. Honestly, out of all the anime I watched in 2026, this one probably has the simplest visuals. The artist really didn't try to make everything look unrealistic perfect, and that's exactly the point. If we look at the typical romance anime heroine, she's usually objectively gorgeous. So when the CEO of Samsung falls in love with her at first sight, nobody questions it. But in this anime, the characters look completely ordinary. They're not unbelievably beautiful, they just look like normal people. And breaking that usual anime cliché makes it so much easier to relate to them. What I personally loved about this anime is how unconventional the romance feels. To answer the question of how not to be afraid of being yourself, let's look fear directly in the eyes, or more specifically, through the eyes of Tyra, the biggest overthinker in this anime. Tyra constantly worries about everything, projecting his insecurities onto the people around him. When he talks about Suzuki, he describes her as overly energetic and says people like that can annoy others. About Tani, he says he's too boring and unsociable to ever be popular. And because of that, Tyra believes people like them could never find love. But here's the funny part. These imperfect people end up falling in love with each other's flaws and personalities. That completely shocks Tyra, because the things he fears most are exactly the things other people don't even care about. And that's where the phrase, just be yourself, finally makes sense. You don't need everyone to like you, but there will always be people who genuinely love something about you. What I personally loved about this anime is how unconventional the romance feels. While watching the first episode, I literally sat there going, "What?" out loud. The characters confess their feelings almost immediately instead of dragging it out for the 3 entire seasons. And that raises the question, if they already confessed, what is the anime even about after that? That's where the side characters come in. Every supporting character has their own personality, their own struggles, and their own life. They're not just background decoration for the main couple, they feel real. Their stories remind us that there are so many different kinds of people in the world, and the thing that makes us different can also be the thing others love about us. Because the side characters are written so well, the authors never have to force unnecessary drama onto the main couple just to keep the story going. There's very little pointless conflicts. Most of the time, the characters are honest about how they feel instead of overthinking everything for 10 episodes. And when misunderstandings do happen, they're usually turned into comedy instead of exhausting drama. In the end, we get a refreshing and realistic romance with characters we can genuinely relate to, and a story that's both comforting and incredibly fun to watch. And honestly, from my own experience, being herself is not easy. I often was excluded from the group because I was different from others. I tried to pretend to fit in, but I never was happy. Now, I'm doing this blog, and I think I have finally found the place where I can truly be myself. For today, we are over. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like this review. Please write me in the comments what do you think about it. Did you watch this anime and did you like it or not? See you next time. I'm Polly. I talk about anime, you listen and watch. See you next time. Bye bye.